The old book sat on a dusty shelf in a quiet flea market. One evening, a man browsing the store noticed it. He took it to the counter and asked the shopkeeper for the price. The shopkeeper looked at him and smirked. "Don't give me anything. The book will return to me anyway," the man chuckled. "All right then, free book for me." He tucked it under his arm and left. That night, sitting in bed, he flipped open the book and read the first line. "Tonight, he will pass into silence before the world stirs again." He frowned at the cryptic words, dismissing it as nonsense. Setting the book aside, he turned off the light and went to sleep. Morning came. The sun rose. The world moved forward, but he never woke up. Next day, his belongings were packed and sold. Among them, the old book bundled with his other books. His housekeeper took the books to the same flea market where he had bought them. "I'd like to sell these," she said. The old man sifted through the stack. Then, without a word, he pushed them all back toward her, except for the old book. "I don't want the rest," he said. She blinked, confused. He turned, walked to the shelf, and placed the book exactly where it had been before. The book waited. Days later, another man entered the shop. His fingers landed on the worn cover, carried it to the counter, and asked the price. The shopkeeper said, "Don't give me anything. The book will return to me anyway." The man chuckled. "All right, if you say so." He took the book and left. That night he settled into his chair, flipping through its pages. His eyes fell on the first line. "By dawn he will fade into the quiet where no footsteps follow." He thought it as meaningless. He placed the book beside him and went to bed, unbothered. Morning came. The sun rose, but he never woke up. Next day, his belongings packed away, discarded as junk. The book, buried among old things, was tossed into a garbage truck. The vehicle rumbled through the streets, but as it passed the old bookshop, the book slipped free. It tumbled out of the moving truck and landed perfectly on the ground in front of the store. The shopkeeper stepped out. He smirked. Bending down, he picked up the book and carried it inside. He placed it back on its shelf, exactly where it had always been. Then he waited for the next buyer.